The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it's so great to have you with us. Topping news tomorrow is nomination day for the system of local governance throughout Grand Bahama and the family of islands. Now, here on Grand Bahama, there will be 3 nomination centers for candidates offering to be of service to their local community. Tonight, the minister responsible says he has high expectations for the process, which continues to make a difference throughout the islands. Minister responsible for local government, the Honorable V. Alfred Gray, says tomorrow is a special day throughout the country. However, he says he has been informed that the interest level is low on Grand Bahama.
I told the person, I said that can't be true. Because Grand Bahama has always been progressive and aggressive. So I expect Grand Bahama not to have a problem with people running for local government. And if good people do not run past the line, then bad people will take over your country. Take it from me. If good people do not run, they're too busy, they got family, well, we all have families, we all busy.
He says offering to serve is all about love for country and is advising residents to be a part of the nomination process.
If you love your country, if you love your island, run. And don't be afraid to lose, because most of us lost before. But we still run. And I want the best of you to consider it. Because if you don't, then whatever you get, sorry, I don't know if there's that nothing you need all this. But anyhow, if you don't do it, then those who you get, you take. And you will have nobody to blame but yourselves.
Some incumbents say lack of funding appears to be hurting local government and impacting the caliber of candidates coming forward.
I can say honestly, it will never be enough. And I will confess that it's not sufficient for the needs of these various communities. But the government itself is struggling with finances. And so we're just doing the best we can with what is available. And I would not want money to be the reason why people run or not run. Because if that's the reason, we won't have any election. Because we just don't have the money that is expected.
But Gray is hopeful that the June 23rd poll will be the biggest and most competitive elections throughout the country.
I hope that those who are willing to offer themselves will do so on the basis that they are willing to serve their communities in that capacity. And whatever monies they are given, they will do the best they can with that until the country can do better.
Now, candidates nominating in Freeport will file papers at the Administrator's Office in the National Insurance Building. In the east, the venue is the High Rock Administrator's Office, and the Administrator's Office in 8 Mile Rock will be the location for candidates in the west. In other news, the Atlantic hurricane season is now underway. Weather experts are forecasting a below normal season, but despite these predictions, the local disaster preparedness consultative committee is not letting its guard down and will kick off an educational campaign this evening on Grand Bahama. Megan Shepard has this story.
The Grand Bahama Disaster Consultative Committee beginning their annual Hurricane Preparedness Awareness Campaign this week. Chairman of the committee, Administrator Alexander Williams, says that this year they have intensified the campaign and included a number of other agencies in order to stress the importance of being prepared.
From Speeding Ski, we'll be holding town meetings, informing the residents and in particular the local authorities who are our first responders in these areas of the importance of being prepared. And we thought that this was very important because persons will know exactly what to expect and what not to expect.
He is urging residents to follow the instructions of those on the committee when it comes to being prepared before, during, and after a hurricane.
Over the years, we have learned that because persons did not heed to warnings, we had the unfortunate experience of persons losing their lives. In Sandy, the team went out, and 3 times they went, and they said, "You must move." And the individual said, "No, I will beat it out right here." He unfortunately lost his life. And the same can be said on other occasions.
Administrator Williams says that while the committee is fully prepared to assist in the event of a disaster, they're appealing to the public for assistance when it comes to volunteerism.
What we want is volunteerism. If you have persons in your organization who can send them, because we need more hands, make the work light. And we've always appealed for persons to volunteer their services. We always are in need of shelter managers and other persons to assist, especially with distribution of goods, supplies, and equipment. We always need assistance with that.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Switching gears now, police on Grand Bahama discovering a large marijuana field in East Grand Bahama over the weekend. Reports say sometime around 5 a.m. on Saturday, Drug Enforcement Unit officers were conducting investigations in the eastern end of the island when they made the discovery. 3 males, 2 Bahamians, and 1 Jamaican were arrested and are assisting police with this investigation. Now, the field consisted of some 32,000 suspected marijuana plants with an estimated street value of $32 million. And also, police on Grand Bahama investigating an alleged attempted armed robbery that has left the alleged perpetrator with injuries. Reports are that sometime around 8 p.m. on Friday, a gunman armed with a handgun entered a home in the Lucaya area and attempted to rob a female resident of cash. Now, during the incident, the gunman was attacked by other residents, which resulted in him being injured. During the process, he reportedly dropped the firearm before making good his escape. The culprit was described as being a dark male, about 5 feet 8 inches tall, of slim build, dressed in a red t-shirt, black long pants, and black tennis shoes. The firearm was said to be a black air gun. Reports say a short time after the alleged incident, a 20-year-old man fitting the description presented himself at the Ram Memorial Hospital's emergency room suffering from multiple stab wounds. He was arrested and is assisting police with this matter. As the Royal Bahamas Police Force work together with other law enforcement agencies to curtail crime, the officer in charge of the Northern Bahamas is concerned about the creativity of the criminal element. Sabrina Brown has this story.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Emric Seymour says, as law enforcement officers strategize on crime-fighting initiatives, the criminal element is also mapping out their plans. He says one such area where criminals are becoming more crafty in their efforts is the importation of illegal firearms.
You've seen guns coming into Grand Bahama by way of the local courier, meaning they would have sent in on groceries. We would have confiscated some weapons in groceries in tied boxes. All right, and so they are in fact using them, and that's why we are on the border. We have stepped up our efforts. We just had a excellent relationship with Bahamas Customs. We had a forum where we are now enhancing our efforts, Customs and the police, so that at the borders we can definitely check these things thoroughly and properly.
Seymour admits that a major challenge in their quest to stop the criminal element is the fact that the country's borders are wide open.
That's what we've seen, and our investigations suggest that they're coming in all sorts of ways, and so they can circumvent our law enforcement efforts. Mailboat, mailboat, these go-fast boats, and we see the same thing with the illegal immigrants coming in. The borders are just so wide open, and to make it difficult, and so that's why it's so important for us and our continuing partnerships with the Defense Force, Customs, Immigration, to ensure that we do our best to bring these things to a head.
The police chief says their evidence suggests that the illegal weapons are coming from the United States, and while he says they are making progress in taking some of those guns off the streets, he's appealing to members of the public who may be in possession of or know where illegal weapons are to turn them in.
You have people in the community who you can turn to. You can turn to your pastors, right? You can turn to your pastors. Turn them into the pastors, they can get it to us. Or turn them into us and remain anonymous. And of course, we'll see. Because as you mentioned, there are too many guns on the streets. Too many guns on the streets. And these are the guns that are being utilized to really create and wreak havoc on our people. Too many guns, and too many acts of criminality are being perpetrated by these guns. And of course, they're illegal. They get you by illegal means. Why? Because there's a ready market for it. People want it.
And then there is this concern.
You have people who are, in fact, their lives are that of criminality. They know nothing else but criminality, and they will continue to do that as long as they live. I mean, because they're saying, at the end of the day, what they're saying is the almighty dollar, how they can grease their pockets, notwithstanding the lives that are being destroyed in the process. And so those are the type of things that really concern us, because it speaks to the mentality of these criminals, meaning if they have to shoot, if they have to kill, they will in fact do so.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The C.A. Smith Government Complex was the venue for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Rangers Grand Bahama installation ceremony. Our Ricardo Lightborn was there for the 5th annual event.
The Minister of National Security, Honorable Dr. Bernard J. Nottage, inspected the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Rangers during the 5th installation ceremony. Dr. Nottage spending a few moments to speak with the Rangers, senior officers of the Defense Force and the Police Force, front and center for the occasion. Discipline, dedication, determination, the theme as the Rangers Special Drill Team displayed, and it was well received. The Minister of National Security, Honorable Bernard Nottage, said the Rangers program is one of the most successful youth programs in the country and congratulated the Grand Bahama Rangers.
Notwithstanding your achievements to date, I remind you that life's journey is sometimes interspersed with pitfalls and with temptations. I encourage you to remain strong in character and moral aptitude, to successfully navigate any hazards or instructions with which you might be confronted. Remain focused on your education and engage in positive activities that will encourage your development as leaders.
The Rangers Choir rendered a selection that was moving and fitting for the occasion. Family and friends of the Rangers had much to cheer about and proud of their accomplishments. Minister Nottage also commended parents of the Rangers for their commitment to the program.
Parents, you are to be commended for your commitment to this program. It is because of your efforts and parental dedication that the organization continues to develop and expand. I encourage you to continue to mentor your children and to assist them in every aspect of their development, to make them not only exceptional Rangers, but responsible citizens of our country, the Bahamas.
The Rangers displayed discipline, dedication, determination by means of physical fitness, and it was accelerating. Jack Haywood High School, Shakitha Delaveau received the Minister of National Security Award. The Commander Defense Award was represented by Agmar Rock's Cody Roll. Jack Haywood, Brenbo Russell received the Rangers District Award. The Most Improved Award went to Sister Mary Patricia Russell Junior High, Samuel McKinney. Ricardo Lightborn, ZNS Network News.
The Junkafest festivities putting the spotlight on the youth this weekend. Scores of students and members of youth groups took time out on Sunday to march for the cause of peace. The Peace March took participants through the streets of Freeport, from the parking lot of Christ the King Anglican Church to the Walter Parker playing field. Coordinator, retired educator Dr. Cecil Thompson says given the state of crime in the country, the Peace March could not have come at a more opportune time.
We expect to again sensitize and make these young people aware of the importance of peace and to avoid violence and crime at all times. And so today we expect them to march for peace, to rush for peace, to sing for peace, to perform for peace, to be in that peacemaking spirit, so that when they go to their schools and places of work tomorrow, carry the spirit.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Ministry of Education, and various youth groups pulling together to spread the message of peaceful resolution to issues to all the students. Deputy Director of Education Sandra Edgecombe was among those on the march. The Boys Scouts group, led by Commissioner Reginald Dean, also playing an active role as well.
When these same boys and girls go back to their classes and play together and work together and learn together, that the spirit of peace and cooperation and willingness to work together as a team and as a school carries over into each school. And if that were to happen, then certainly a lot of the little day-to-day problems that we face, with conflicts in particular, we might not have to deal so much with that. And so we hope the message is not just for the duration of this parade, but indeed becomes a lifestyle of peace for all of our students.
The message of peace has always been a tough one, simply because a lot of us just sit back, and when the problems come, we do not step up to the plate to help. Men, women, all of us is a part of trying to keep peace. Somebody saved me, and we have to try and save somebody. And that's what it's all about. If we can go back to what we used to do in the neighborhoods and deal with the children, the boys and the girls, but mostly the boys to date. Why we're having so much problems is because society has gone down the hill and nobody's coming forward to help.
The island of Grand Bahama was the site for an historic conference, a number of stakeholders making the event a reality as local and international presenters poured into the lives of young girls, telling them, yes, they can. Joan Davis-Roll has more.
Girls on Grand Bahama not only want to have fun, but some 100 of them on this northern island gathered at the Pelican Bay Resort recently to be inspired, energized, and empowered. The first ever Yes I Can all-girls conference, teaching girls not only how to walk the red carpet, but how to cope when they walk through the various challenging moments they will face in life. The brainchild and visionary behind the event, Lynn Freno.
I feel like my purpose is to inspire girls and reach all of them with a message of inspiration and hope. And so this is the start of a trend that I hope to continue, where we can reach every girl in Grand Bahama and every girl in the Bahamas and just let them know that we believe in them and that we're here to support them and that they are someone special.
In town from the United States for the historic conference was International Yes I Can representative Yasmin Edison Smith.
I'm excited about the opportunity to share in the dream, to empower girls and to make them strong.
Now, where did the vision come from to have this organization?
I was inspired because I attended a conference called Girls Rule that was all about empowering girls and inspiring them. And I was excited to do the same thing and to start the Every Girl Can conference as an annual event.
Among the presenters, Senator the Honorable Tanisha Tynes. She, along with young participants Kayla Saldana, Angelina Smith, and Alana Brown, underscored the significance of the event.
There are 5 words that they must keep in mind so that they can achieve every goal that they have in their hearts to achieve. And the first word is to be enriched. The second is to be empowered, to be encouraged, and the 4th E word is to elevate yourself. And there was one I word, which is inspire. And I said all of those words work together for every girl to achieve what they want to achieve in life.
How do you feel about the Yes Every Girl Can Bahamas?
I feel excited to learn about new stuff that they have to teach us.
What have you learned so far?
That you could be confident in everything you do and not to be afraid to be speaking in big crowds.
Every girl can. How do you feel about that message and what comes to your mind when you think about that?
What comes to my mind? What comes to my mind is that a girl could be successful for what she does or what she is.
What message so far have you heard that's so important to you?
That you should always try, and if you try hard enough, then you can achieve anything that you want to achieve.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we come back.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Up. Ricardo Live 1-2, Davine, Capron. Let me tell you, you got to call me, girl. We got to talk. Something about Shoshana you need to know. The Grand Bahama Little League is into its playoff, folks, and also selects its team for the Bahama Softball Federation Nationals. Now, the Predators Baseball Organization is claiming that they have been given a short end of the baseball bat. Predators Little League Baseball Organization is wondering when will they be able to play baseball again. The baseball players are being hampered from playing, that's girls and boys. Coach Stephanie Higgs says the Grand Bahama Little League will not allow her teams to play because they are not paid up in full. More than 70 Little Leaguers are being affected by this decision.
In a general meeting held earlier this week, the Grand Bahama Little League decided to oust all of the Predators teams and players from playing for the remainder of this season, stating that some of the players have not paid their players' fees. This meant that even though some players had paid, they would still not be allowed to play. When questioned whether or not those players who paid would be refunded their fees, they said no, those fees could not be refunded.
The payment of players' fees in full from the teams slighted the reason for the field being empty. No Predators being allowed to play. Coach Higgs says this is wrong.
This book, according to the Little League organization, at no time should payment of any fee be a prerequisite for participation in any level of the Little League program. Young, talented children should not be turned away from playing this game that they love because their families cannot afford to pay fees to the league.
While baseball players in the Grand Bahama Little League can play and enjoy the game, Predators baseball players must watch it. Ask, can they play? It's angered some parents and grandparents.
I pay for my grandchildren to play. From T-ball, 9, 10, and 13, 15. I paid their fees. So I'm responsible for that man, or who man. Get it right.
The Predators baseball players just won't be able to play and sent a message to GB Little League.
We just want to play baseball!
Well, the coach pitch ballers, also the Grand Bahama Little League, are feeling the pinch like the Predators baseball. The Woodpeckers, Flamingos, and the Pirates are also affected, says Oscar Green.
Unable to pay their players' registration fees. So what we did was we went out to a few businesses and got sponsors from them. And when we brought in the check to give to the Grand Bahama Little League, they accepted the check, deposited it to their account, but they did not apply it to our players' fees. So now players from all three of our coach pitch games are now unable to play in the playoffs, in the championships, and at the Bahamas Baseball Federation Nationals.
Well, denying young people the right to play baseball is wrong, says Oscar, and the executives need to explain to the players, coaches, and the president and the parents why.
We hold the president, Mr. Randolph Scullline, as well as the play agent, Mr. Oswald Edmond Smith, accountable for this action here because they are the leaders of the organization, and they are not even up to today. We asked if we can bring the fees in now that they didn't apply in the first place, and they said no. Even if you bring it in, the kids will not be able to play.
Well, this one is far from over, folks. This is going to be going down to the wire as the Federation comes to play the Nationals later this month. That's a look at Sports Tonight.